We're doing sex-linked examples, and a reminder that for complete dominance, one allele is dominant over another. That allele will be the recessive allele. So in a heterozygous condition, the recessive allele will be masked by the dominant allele. Let's have a look at the first question. Got eye color in fruit flies, which is a sex-linked trait, where red is dominant over white. So what does that mean? The eye color is the trait that is linked to an X chromosome only. Red is dominant over white, so we're going to use the letter R for this particular characteristic. Question asks for sexes and eye color. So what it's asking is for the two phenotypes of the flies that have the particular genotype. So in the first case, we've got female, and this is where she is heterozygous for the condition. The red is dominant, so she'll be a red-eyed female. I want to skip to the other female conditions. So this female over here is carrying two recessive alleles. So here she will be a white-eyed female. And then in this case, she is homozygous for the dominant condition, and so in this case she will be a red-eyed female. Looking at the males, XY, we know they're male, and the males carry the allele on the X chromosome only. So in this case he's carrying the dominant allele, so this will be a red-eyed male. Now, there's only two conditions that a male can have because they're carrying the allele on the X chromosome only. So the first one was the dominant allele, and now this is the recessive allele. So in this case the male will be white-eyed. Right, the next question. What are the genotypes of these flies? And the first one is a male. So we've got over here that it's a male and it's white-eyed. So male is XY. And a reminder that males carry the allele on the X chromosome only. Because this is a recessive condition, it'll be a small r. Right, next one is red-eyed female, heterozygous for the condition. So XX is the female. She's red-eyed, so there's got to be the dominant allele, but it's a heterozygous condition, so it'll be big R, small r. Right, then white-eyed female. So again, XX. But because she's white eyes, the only way she can have white eyes if she has the two recessive alleles. And red-eyed male, XY. The male carries the condition on the X chromosome only. Red eye, which is the dominant allele, so it'll be capital R or the big R on the X chromosome. Right, number 3. Using a Punnett square, show the cross of a white-eyed female and a red-eyed male. And then there are 4 compulsory questions that need to be answered. So what does Punnett square mean? Punnett square means that we need to show the full layout of the genetic cross, and the parents are going to be white-eyed. That's the phenotype of the female, and that's going to cross with the male, and we've shown his genotype here as well. And then we must remember to answer the compulsory questions at the end. Right, so let's have a look at the layout. Be the P1 parents, and the phenotype for these parents are a white-eyed female and crossing with a male with red eyes. The female's genotype is X small r, crossing with the male whose phenotype is X big R, Y. Remember that the Y cannot have or does not have the condition, carry the condition. Right, meiosis must occur in order to make the gametes, and Mendel said that gametes must segregate in order to form gametes. So once the gametes are formed, fertilization can occur, and that will give rise to the F1 generation. So we're going to show the F1 generation in a 9 square Punnett square. I'm going to put my male gametes separately at the top. So there's the one gamete, and there's the other gamete. And the female is X small r, and now we can have a look at fertilization. So we have that condition arising, or we could have that occurring after fertilization, or this being a result after fertilization, or that could be a result after fertilization. So we now have the genotype of the F1 generation, and that is 2 big XR, X small r, to 2 X small r, Y, and analyzing that, we have 2 females with red eyes to 2 white-eyed males. Right, now we've got to go back and answer the questions. So it says, how many are white-eyed males? Well, there'll be 2. How many are white-eyed females? There are none. How many red-eyed males? There are none. How many red-eyed females? There are 2. Right, question 2. Why is hemophilia never passed from father to son, even though it is most common in males? So let's have a look. Hemophilia, we know, is an X-linked condition. What we also know is that the father transfers the Y chromosome to a son. What we also know is that there is only 2 possible ways that hemophilia can either be passed or not passed to offspring, and that is when the condition is either for the dominant or for the recessive. So, how to answer this? The son receives a Y chromosome from the father, not an X chromosome, and therefore the father is not passing on the hemophilia condition. Why it is most common is because the male carries the condition on the X chromosome only. Therefore, he either has hemophilia or he doesn't. Right, in the last question. Can a mother pass on a sex-linked gene to her daughter? What we know about the mother is that she has 2 X chromosomes. So either one of those will be passed on to offspring, whether it's a son or a daughter. So in this case, if the mother is homozygous for the dominant condition, then the daughter will pick up one of those alleles. Or if the mother is heterozygous for the condition, then once again, when alleles segregate and fertilization occur, then the daughter can pick up either one of those alleles. Or thirdly, if the mother is carrying the recessive alleles, then the daughter is going to pick up either one of those. So, the daughter will pick up the recessive allele in any one of those conditions.